tech startup in 2016 when he was creating an open API platform for MSME lending in India. He has also co-founded Blockchain Advisory Council, a global platform for 100 plus blockchain professionals, techies, investment bankers, and domain experts, and has been a blockchain consultant to startups and established business across the globe. We welcome you to the session, Ashish. Moving ahead, we have Falguni Pandit. She is the co-founder and CTO of Blue Finance. Falguni has more than 20 years of experience in the IT sector, having worked with global behemoths like Capgemini, iGate, 3i Infotech, etc. A BFSI vertical expert in technology, Falguni has been the forefront of the technology curve, starting from Microsoft technologies to data mining, business intelligence, and finally to blockchain. We welcome you to the session, Falguni. Moving ahead, we have Abhishek Bhattacharya. He is the co-founder and head of Brew Finance. Abhishek has been a part of blockchain ecosystem since his college days. A product person who has co-founded and worked with several startups in blockchain and fintech space like Policy Bazaar and Karachain, etc. Abhishek has been an advisor to several blockchain startups and is also a co-author of a book on blockchain and cybersecurity. We welcome you to the session, Abhishek. We welcome all of you to the session, and now we'll be moving ahead with today's event, and I would like to call Ashish Oben on the stage.
Now we are formally introducing the presentation. We will start with the presentation first of all, which is about the deep dive in the edge. We are organizing the event for both our community members on Discord and also for the people who are joining from the TradFi and other traditional world on the LinkedIn. So we will be starting with a presentation on the DeFi itself. What is DeFi? What does it really mean for people? What are the avenues available into that, and why DeFi is moving ahead at such a pace? And later on, we will talk about how Brew is changing the world of DeFi altogether. What innovations we are bringing in the DeFi space. So starting from there, let me just run through the presentation first of all. And in between, we will be talking about how we are doing it differently. Just 1 second so that I can start sharing my link, start sharing my screen. Hi everybody, I'm Ashish Anand, once again co-founder of One. Talking about DeFi ecosystem in how it has grown. So let's look at this chart. Almost 18 months back in June 2020, the DeFi ecosystem was just emerging. We had less than $1 billion of assets into DeFi ecosystem, the decentralized finance ecosystem. And as we can see,
I'm just going and.
Sorry? Are you guys not able to see my screen? Is it?
Yes, sir, we are able to.
We are. Please go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. So hi everyone. So as we saw that what happened into this thing, all of a sudden such a boom happened from in 1 year, from June 2020 to June 2021. More than $100 billion of assets came into decentralized finance. Actually, we can say that the new rally in cryptocurrency actually started with decentralized finance coming into place. And as you guys can see, as everyone can see, that in from June to February, January today, from $150 billion, we reached $250 billion in total value locked. That's the size of the DeFi market. What is propelling this gain? And I'm sure most of you would have heard about rate of means yield or APY as it is called in the centralized finance space. 5,000%, 10,000%, 100%. The question is from where that yield comes. Are we really able to create, have we been able to create a new sort of economic mechanism which had changed the world and we are able to provide this sort of yield, or is there something else which is going behind it? And then we will talk about how this trustless, because please understand, decentralized finance or DeFi is not run by a bank. There is no JP Morgan, there is no Barclays, there is no ICICI Bank who is running this platform. It is run 100% by smart contracts, by the technology, by the code. It is not run by people. This entire $250 billion, which is of course going to go to trillions of dollars, will be running on a trustless and bankless financial ecosystem. What happened, how it was created, let's talk about that. So, as I mentioned earlier, that DeFi is a 100% trustless ecosystem. The question is, what was the need for that? So let me give you show you a chart from A16G, which published that while businesses are running, the governments are running, and of course there are social sector which is running. Unfortunately, the trust in the businesses, in the governments, and even in the media, it's very, very low. At the same time, what we have seen that the social sector is trustworthy, but they are not efficient enough. So the competency and ethical, if we draw a 2x2 on that, what we see that if there are ethical businesses like social sector, NGOs, etc., they fall short of the competence factor. And while businesses are taken as competent, unfortunately, they are not trustworthy enough. And after the 2008 crisis, which is live in the minds of many of us, we saw that how the trust in the banking sector was shattered. And that's when, actually speaking, the first thing in the crypto space, just after the financial meltdown of 2008 came, that is Bitcoin. So in 2009, we got what? Bitcoin. And that is what, actually speaking, I would say was the base of decentralized finance, because money is at the core of the any financial ecosystem. And 2009 witnessed the birth of the first money, the programmable money. Because Bitcoin is, as we all know, runs on the code as well. And from there, we have reached to this stage today that an entire financial ecosystem is being created on technology. And in 2 years, the sort of growth we have seen that is happening. So Bitcoin came, then then strike for president. Then Ethereum came, and then now on top of Ethereum and other platforms like Solana, we have an entire ecosystem that has been built upon. So let us talk about what was the need for building this sort of a decentralized finance ecosystem. So here comes the thing that if you own, supposingly, you are owner of, let's say that you own certain cryptocurrencies. And as we all know that cryptocurrencies are very good return providers in the long term. Though in the short term, the volatility can be quite high. It means most of the people are good if they buy and hold the asset. If they buy and hold the asset, then they earn a lot of financial reward in terms of valuation jack up. But what happens that those assets are otherwise unproductive assets. They don't generate any income. Supposingly, supposingly you have bought a house and you are not living in that house. Any asset actually can be used for passive income. For example, the house property can be given on rent. If we have certain cash, surplus cash, we can put into a bank account to start earning interest. Or we can put into, say, for example, mutual funds and start earning some debt income from there, debt mutual funds, and start earning from there. So we can earn from our spare assets. If we have a car which we are not using, we can lease it out. So all the assets can be put to use for generating passive income. But a few years back, 2 to 3 years back, if you had Bitcoin, if you had Ethereum, if you had stable coins like Tether, actually speaking, there was no way to generate yield on those assets. So if the price went up and you generated capital gain, that was good enough. And that's where the core concept about using these assets as a source of passive income came into play, or as a source of collaterals. For example, if you have a house, if you have certain mutual funds, etc., you can always go to a bank and say that, hey, this is my security, I want some loan. But if I had Bitcoin, no bank would give us a loan. Even if I am a billionaire, perhaps banks won't be giving loan, and that's what I mean. They won't be dealing with those who were holding cryptocurrencies. Forget about giving loan against those assets. And that's where the birth of decentralized finance happened. And that is where we are from 2019, a birth of programmable money, to 2020 to 2022, where the money Legos on top of that money were created in the form of decentralized finance. And the best part, it's entirely permissionless. You have assets, or you are looking for borrowing, or you are looking for passive income. You don't need to go to a bank and wait for their permission to get you onboarded. You don't need to go to a broker and ask for that I want to put my money into money markets and wait for their permission. So there is no permission system. It's 100% P2P. There is no person in between. The programs, the smart contracts take care of each and every aspect, whether it is borrowing, lending, putting the money into several money markets and so on. And it is non-custodial. Means your assets are with you. You are not holding as a borrower. Even if I'm a borrower and I'm giving my asset as collateral to a platform, it is going to the platform and being locked there. It is not being handed over to a bank. I mean, the documents or ownership document is not being handed over to someone else. So 100% non-custodial, runs entirely on wallets, and it means that the privacy is secured. So the anonymity also comes along with decentralized finance. Unfortunately, as we all know, that Web2 ecosystems exploit customer data for the purpose of financial gains for the intermediaries. And that has resulted into each and every data being recorded and each and every transaction of every person being recorded. And the privacy has been put to a back burner. Decentralized finance is bringing the privacy back to the web system as well. So as I mentioned that the money Legos were born only 2 years back. I mean, some efforts like MakerDAO have been there for almost 5 years, but most of it came up only in last 2 years. And that is when the growth started. So when we talk about decentralized finance, in less than 2 years, the entire range of financial products have come onto the platform. Whether they are stable coins. So what are stable coins? Like a coin which is backed by some other currency or is pegged to some other currency. Like we have DAI from MakerDAO, we have Tether, we have USDC, which are representing actually their value is similar to, is typically pegged to $1 per asset, per token. Then the second revolution which we came and which has made all number of these things possible was automated money market. What is that? Or decentralized exchange as we call that. So the old timers in the finance will know that earlier the systems were not automated. When we wanted to trade with some equity, say for example, if I wanted to buy shares of a company, I will put my order to a market maker. And the market maker will have another person who will have a seller and he will match the transaction. So the market maker concept was there. It is still prevalent in many non-financial markets, for example, in horse races, etc. What automated market maker did in the crypto world, that it allowed people to put their assets and create markets on their own without need of a centralized exchange. So anybody today can go on a platform like Uniswap and create a market. So supposingly we are going to launch our True token sometime in future. And when we do that, we can go and create without waiting for anybody, any exchange to permit us to list. We can go and create a market for Brew tokens on Uniswap and Curve and Balancer, etc. That is what allowed actually these assets to be put into certain automated systems and start earning passive income from there, or to use those uh, AMMs and those technology going forward to also borrow money against that. And that is where we got Aave, Compound, Maker, etc. to come, who are the lending platforms. If you have certain assets and you want to borrow, say for example, if you have say $100,000 worth of Bitcoin and you are looking for a loan and you go to the bank says, hey, you are a Bitcoin holder, we don't deal with you. What you can do, you can go to Aave or Compound or Maker and say, hey, you know what? I need to buy a house and I need money for that purpose. So I need to use my Bitcoins for this purpose. Or you want to use it for business. Or say, for example, you want to use it for further trading. You have $1,000 worth of Bitcoin and you want to leverage that because you were saying, say, for example, if you have $100,000 worth of Bitcoin and you believe that the Bitcoin market is going to go up further and you don't have further liquidity, so what we can do that you can go to Aave, lock your Bitcoin and borrow 50% against that or 70% against that and use that to buy further cryptos. You can buy Bitcoin, you can buy some other. If you don't want to sell your Bitcoins, but at the same time you are very interested in an altcoin, you can borrow money here and use that to buy an altcoin as well. Actually speaking, nowadays so many systems are prevalent that you can do this automatically through the composability part of the DeFi streams, where each and everything has been built on top of something else. We also have derivatives. So options are available, futures are available, index protocol. So someone is looking for, say, someone says that, hey, for example, I don't understand which coin to buy. So then we can invest into index pools, for example. So like index cooperative is there, index is there. So we can, instead of buying one asset and trying to benefit from that, we can actually buy entire pool of assets. Synthetics are there. So synthetics have been created against real world assets, a digital copy of that. Those can be there. And finally, as we all know that it is very difficult for everyone to take care of all these things on their own. So what has happened, like in the traditional finance world, we have robo advisors to take care of our financial needs. In the DeFi world, we have got asset wealth management platforms like your Rari InstaDev from India, who can help us to aggregate and get the best possible yield from different places. When I talk yield, it means interest in a layman language. So it has a small difference in the financial terms, but in the layman language, I would say you can talk of it yield as an interest part. So there are protocols to borrow, there are protocols to earn yield. So what has happened in the DeFi space? Typically, when we talk about traditional finance, the borrowing part, so what we call finance, for example, or corporate finance, and the wealth management part are two separate activities typically. So the banks will be doing the banking, where they will be where the people can deposit money, earn interest, or whether they can borrow from different banks. And typically, money market solutions will be made available from the mutual funds, they will be made available from the brokers, etc. In this world, what has happened that we have the same, so the boundary between corporate finance or finance and wealth management actually, or money markets have actually diminished. The platforms are actually working both on the money market side as well as on the lending side almost at the same time. So that's one differentiation that has come in the decentralized finance market. The different verticals of finance can be actually clubbed together, which is possible due to what I talked about composability, building one on the top of another because everything is open source. So that's where the major verticals of this market today are. And when we have done that, we need to understand a bit about what is different key terms. So how do we earn passive income? So what we can do that we can, as I mentioned, that we can create our own market by putting our assets, uh, altcoins, Bitcoin, and other any sort of crypto asset into a liquidity pool, create a market, and start earning some fee for making that market. So there is, so that is what we call liquidity provider fee. So the liquidity providers start earning fee for that. Now, when we have put our asset and are getting fee for that, if we put for on the certain platforms where the platform own tokens are used, then we call it staking as well. If we put it on some other platform, that asset, then it is liquidity provision or yield farming. Yield farming is nothing but we also uh, call it liquidity mining, means giving our assets and earning passive income against that. And now what we call DeFi 2.0, a new term, protocol owned liquidity has started to come up. So earlier what used to happen that supposingly I own $100,000 of Bitcoin and the yield on Aave platform is very attractive. I go over there, deposit that, earn that yield, and the next moment, if I feel that the now after a few minutes or after some time, the yield on compound is better, I will withdraw from Aave, go to compound. And that way, what happened that while people were generating huge yield, what we call yield farming, and for that, as I mentioned, there were automated tools available. What started happening that the protocols which have built this started feeling the what we will call hot money problem. Is the money is there one day and it is not there the next day, and so on. And that's where nowadays we see that protocol owned liquidity, where the assets are given for the purpose of yield, of generating yield, and against that bonds are issued. So which has certain life, which are not that sort of hot money. So the protocol owned liquidity is what is now we are calling DeFi 2.0. So while yield farming or liquidity mining was quite popular in DeFi 1.0, like Aave, Compound Maker, etc., for new protocols like Rari, Ohm, Olympus DAO, the protocol owned liquidity has come up as a new concept. Let us see how that goes going forward. And that is where if you go to Olympus DAO platform today, you will see that the yield is 900%. From where that comes, we will discuss that. Few days, I mean, in the last month, in January or December, the yield on Olympus DAO protocol was more than 5,000%. So from where that comes, we will also discuss that going forward. But these are the key terms for the decentralized finance space as of today. And I will just take a small representation of, because we will be talking about Brew Finance and we will be talking about what changes we have made. So we are going to talk about how a decentralized finance lending protocol construct works. It's a very simple construct. There are two parties, a borrower and a lender. A lender is a person who is looking to earn certain interest on their assets. It is just like you go to a bank and say that, hey, I want to put my money into a savings account or a checking account or a fixed deposit, and I want to earn interest against that. So that becomes our, so that in that sense, actually speaking, we are lenders to the bank. And there are other people who need money, who need to borrow money for their work, for that purpose. Only one part here. As of today, the decentralized finance works only on the, except a few new protocols, it runs on crypto assets. Means if you have crypto assets, you can lend, you can borrow. If you have a house property, almost you won't be able to do that as of today, except for a few new platforms which have just come up in a few months back. Similarly, so that if someone owns the capital, they will go put into the protocol. They don't have to go to a bank. They can simply go on to our platform, connect their wallet, transfer the money to the protocol, and start earning interest on that. Work done. The person who wants to borrow, he goes on the same protocol, puts his own, supposingly he has $100,000 worth of bitcoins, deposits his bitcoins on the same platform, and he gets the say 70% of that as $70,000 as uh, money back into his wallet, which is given in the form of another asset typically. So in that particular case, now that $70,000 can be used for any other purpose the borrower is looking for. But this is the DeFi lending protocol. But as you can see, it works on crypto, is meant for crypto. What happens to people like most of us? Of course, we have crypto assets, but our crypto holding is very small holding, right? And most of us are earning our salaries, or running our businesses in the real world, where we are earning, where we are earning uh, our salaries, our income, our business profit in fiat. And of course, not all of that is going to be going to crypto one. We have our houses, we have our house property, we have our land, we have our say for example, if you are running a business, you have receivables, which we call debtors also, from whom we have to receive the money, which is another asset which we have. You may be having something like a gold which you have purchased, or which is thank you. So which is from different which is from different sources. We have got different other assets. Unfortunately, that part, decentralized finance, is not able to serve as of today. So we have only digital assets, and yields can be quite volatile. As I mentioned, on Olympus, it was 5,600% 1 month back. Today it is 900%. Of course, too much high, but also on other platforms, even on stable platforms like our, etc., the yield can vary from 2% to 20% within a short frame of time. All of these are variable rate of interest. So we don't have, one problem is that decentralized finance as of today is only talking about digital assets. So if we want to get the benefits of composability, if we want to get the permissionless ecosystem, if we want to get the benefit of the bankless ecosystem, unfortunately, we don't have many avenues for that in the decentralized. Interest rates are highly volatile, and collateralization, all the loans are over collateralized. Means if you want to borrow X, you must be having more than X. So the question happens that why we will do that. There are logics to do that, but that's the typical case. And what has happened, as I was mentioning, that it is composable, means we can take money from, we can put money into one. Please mute. Thank you. We can take money from one protocol, put into another protocol, and so on, which helps us in generating more yield. Actually speaking, there's so much.
Control shift down, control C copy, alt tab.
Please
Fast
mute
we will
yourself.
finish the before 5.
Please mute the channel, please. Thank you. So over collateralization is one problem. And as we have seen recently, that number of times smart contract risk, layers of risk, because one asset is being pulled into another protocol and so on is happening. We have seen even in last 1 month, we have seen several type of problems being faced by these sort of smart contracts. One happened 2 days back itself. So those layers of risk have created a problem in the DeFi industry as well. And these are the problems which we are trying to solve. And how we are trying to solve that, that is where comes Brew Finance. So what Brew Finance is doing, for last 2 years, more than 2 years, we have created India's one and only blockchain fintech startup. A fintech which runs 100% on blockchain rails. And that is where we have created that. We have already created tokens of traditional world assets of more than $500 million, in rupee terms around 4,000 crore rupee. More than $500 million worth of assets we have tokenized in on our platform. We are giving loans against real world assets using blockchain technology with the help of certain traditional banking partners. So that is where now we are coming, where we are the problems, as I mentioned, that we don't have real world assets into the DeFi ecosystem. So that is where Brew Finance is going to leverage its blockchain technology solutions, which is already powering loans to farmers against commodities, which is already creating commodity-based non-fungible tokens. And we have already created more than $500 million. We will be one of the largest across the globe to have done that. And that bringing together of real economy and the traditional finance and the decentralized finance is what is the motto of Brew Finance. With a social change and financial inclusion being the drivers of our goals. So I will be now very soon handing over my mic to my co-founder Abhishek, who will be taking us through what work we have done in the Brew finance space and how we are changing the world of DeFi by marrying it with the traditional finance and real economy. So thank you for being so patiently hearing us. And now I will hand over for a minute. I will hand over to others, and others, if we can just give a glimpse of the video which we have prepared about Brew Finance, and then Abhishek will take it from there. Others, can you please others, can you please share your screen here on the Discord if you are there on the Discord? You are not there, is it? So Abhishek, can you please start? If Adarsh is not there, can you please start with the presentation? We will run the video later.
Sure.
Sure.
Just 1 second. Can you hear me? Okay, cool. I'll share the screen just in a second. Ashish, I don't have shared screen rights here, I think. Can you allow me to do that? In Restream. You're on mute. Oh, 1 second.
To bring the cursor there, it works.
Okay, now I can. Can you see the screen? Can you see the screen, Ashish? Perfect. I'm sharing it on Discord as well. And here, can you pull up Ashish my screen? I think you need to include that into the restream live uh, on the toggle button. Let me know once ready. I'll start.
Abhishek, please start the restream at your end.
No, I can't do that. This is your link. You'll have to do that. So I think we are again live now. So
Yeah, we are live, but how do we? Okay, all right,
yeah.
got it.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much. Perfect. And guys, I hope it is also visible in Discord. You're able to see that, I believe. So I'll get started. And yeah, I'm unmuted now. Perfect. So guys, you can see this as Ashish has been saying, sharing that what we have. First of all, I hope that it has been a good journey for you for the last 30 odd minutes to know more about DeFi as a segment, as a domain, and how did it come up, right? What has been the story till now? Not just how Brew Finance came, but how the entire story formed, how the entire picture should be clear by now. And now what we are looking at is, as Ashish said, that we are bringing in the power of the real economy, driving the social change by bridging centralized finance and decentralized finance. And why we are at this moment, Brew Finance is the best place that you can find this. One of the best places you can find this is because we are pioneering this. We are having a centralized finance, a platform, lending platform with all the real assets. Farmers coming to our platform to take loans in the last 3 years, over 250 million Indian rupees worth of loans given. So that calls for something. And that's what we are bridging now with the world of decentralized finance, which in this story you must have now gotten that it is all currently cryptocurrency. You go to any of the platforms that you know about, who are live right now, they are, most of them, 98-99% of them are cryptocurrency based, and now we are bringing in real world assets. So you can see now on the screen that this is what the ultimate goal is: connecting the underbanked population in India itself, because we are first talking about India itself is 190 million people unbanked. Overall world, it's a 1.7 billion people underbanked out of the 7.5 odd billion odd people that we have, population that we have, and that's what we are connecting here. So at the end, how does the market look like, right? When we talk about bridging these two worlds, what are we actually bridging? So we are bridging a world worth over $500 trillion worth of real world assets. That's the total market of real world assets in the world currently. On that, the total lending per annum that happens is worth $4 trillion, humongously high than what you see currently the volume in DeFi. And this gives you a picture, by the way, that where can we see DeFi going in the very next couple of years, 3 years, 4 years at the max. That is the picture that this is the number that should form the good picture in front of you. There are multiple ways to get into this. There are we are starting with agricultural commodities, then we could be going to gold loans, real estate, securities, so many things that are lent against, exotic assets, art, wine, all of these things, and eventually the smallholder farmer, the smallholder wine seller, all of these people would be benefited from the platform. And on the other hand, the lenders globally from anywhere, they would be able to enjoy very, very high and stable yields as well. Something that you've completely unheard of in the standard banking system. So that is something of real value that's being driven here, right? So yeah, that's in a nutshell. Currently what we have done is the platform that you get, we are just not a piece of code, guys. We are actually have been doing this in the last more than 3 years now, working with big names in the country India as well as outside. We have already 1.5 million borrowers on the platform, potential borrowers, some of them who are being helped indirectly, and total more than $500 million worth of tokenized assets, as Ashish shared earlier. Total asset custodians, the warehouses who keep these assets, are more than 1,400 on the platform right now. And total finance partners who have committed that they'll be routing over $300 million through our platform over the next few months. And who will get this? smallholder, marginal farmers would get this to start with, and then any kind of customer category that we add. So that's the $300 million and already existing TVL, total value logged on the DeFi platform, even when we are starting, right? So that's why. So we are not starting now because we have been there since 3 years. Very few platforms you would come across have been at this stage while getting into DeFi. Most of them are pieces of code, deployed smart contracts on the Polygon or Ethereum network. We are assets deployed on these networks, Polygon to start with. This is how the entire network works. Starts with a very specific app, standalone app used by the borrower, the farmers who get on the platform using that app. They have it on their Android phone. It is kind of a DApp, if you know, decentralized app. It talks to the blockchain as well. So it's kind of a decentralized app. And then the entire network of banks, the entire network of custodians, then verification agencies, oracles, then the lenders, the global pool of lenders, which is called the Brew pool. All of that comes at the center, and then you also interface. The system is able to interface with other organizations who may have not come yet into the DeFi segment, such as financial institutions. And while the time the system is connected with the Brew pool as well. So two sources of liquidity on the platform. So what the actual solution is, it is that once all the assets are on chain, they're tokenized on the blockchain, basically all these real world assets. The proof of reserve we put in proof of reserve in between, and then we validate and verify them on the DeFi platform, and then comes all the innovative products that we can create on top of all these products, in relation to all these products, meant for the lenders, meant for the borrowers. You get asset-backed loans, you can do high yield lending, you can enjoy a big staking pool. All of this is in the form of NFTs, right? Please do not think that NFTs are only art and song and music that you've heard of till now. In fact, as a fun fact, maybe even before you and I were holding any form of NFTs in our wallets, technically, farmers in India, smallholder farmers in India, they were holding NFTs in their mobile app, because that is the whole point. That what are NFTs? Non-fungible tokens, characteristics of tokens which are separate, which are different in all the tokens, and you own them. All of these commodities are reflected in the form of NFTs. So this is where we stand in terms of. Ashish, am I not audible?
Sir, you are.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So this is where we stand. As you can see, what do we bring into the table which other platforms do not? And you can see we are bringing in real world asset tokens. Yes, we are building our own book for lending. We are not having any intermediary lender, which on the other platforms you can see that some of them have, some of them don't have. Completely decentralized platform. Again, some of these platforms are decentralized, but not all. Social impact, one of the only platforms who are driving some social change and giving bonds. That's also one of the platforms that is driving, giving the option of investing in bonds. So that's the whole picture essentially. And just coming to a very yes, so this is a slide that I believe that many of you should be looking forward to and would be interested in a lot. This is what the token utility is, right? The primary question that all of you would be asking us somewhere, either on a Discord, on a Twitter, on a LinkedIn, everywhere, right? All these questions coming to us. We are putting all these as FAQs on our Discord and the website as well. The website, if you don't know, it's brew.finance. It's BRU brew. Why brew? So brew means bridge in Icelandic, in Iceland language. Bridge between centralized finance and decentralized finance. That's the brew part. And so BRU.finance, the usual spelling of finance. So brew.finance, if you've not visited the website yet. So yes, this is the token utility. At the cryptoverse end, you get access to governance. You get access to governance with those tokens. You get staking rewards if you stake those tokens on the Brew Pool platform. And then any kind of bonding incentives that you can get are from the tokens. On the other hand, because we have that angle, we are not just a cryptoverse platform. We have the angle of real world, being present in the real world as well, which gives you loyalty and rewards, which pays out as dividends to asset validators on the platforms. You get discounts, interest discounts, right? If you want to borrow from the platform, you want to lend to the platform, if you hold some tokens, you get discounts and you get cashbacks, which is one of the sweetest deals that you can get here. So that's essentially what you would get here. And this is what the token distribution looks like. You'll find that on the light paper and white paper as well. Please take a look, take a screenshot, or find the white paper in our Telegram channel or on our website very soon. Edits keep on happening, but we'll be putting these up live very soon. And we are this is what the whole picture looks like. So that's it mostly. Ashish, would you like to take over? Just before 1 second, just before I hand over the mic, take a look at the roadmap. This is what the roadmap looks like. From the technology standpoint, we are already on testnet. By the way, we are not just on testnet now. We have shown our MVP on the testnet, and we have proved our metal. We were top two global. We were top two in the entire country in Binance's hackathon. We have won Polygon hackathons. We have won grants from Polygon. We have won grants from ETH Odyssey. We have won grants from ETH Denver, which happens in Denver, of course, but now remotely. Last time it happened. We have won grants from United Nations Development Program for our work on with blockchain and with tokens in agriculture and for farmers. Next, we are looking to go on to Mainnet, and for that, we are hiring, right? That is always on, guys. We are hiring blockchain developers, designers, UI, UX, front end, in other non-blockchain, non-technical fields as well. Please reach out on Telegram, on LinkedIn, on anywhere you get, right? There's a contact us form on the website as well. Or, of course, if you're already in Discord and attending this on Discord, you have the perfect channel here to reach out to us for any job opportunities that we might be having. And then you can see that all the entire expansion plans that we have starting Q1 2022, and going forward, we definitely plan to expand to other areas of Southeast Asia, then Central Asia. And then the very next asset that we are going to start is gold, which is going to be a big asset to take on the platform. Please be on the lookout for that, and that should be it. So Ashish, would you want to take over now? I think I'm done here, most of it. Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Thanks, Abhishek, for this wonderful presentation into what we are doing in the world of group finance, how we are moving the ladder.
Sorry, sir. Please unmute the Discord as well.
Am I good? Okay, unmute on Discord itself as well. Sorry. Hi. Sure. Thanks, Abhishek, for this wonderful presentation into what we are doing with group finance and how we have already changed the lives of so many people, so many farmers. Our initiative to use non-fungible tokens has reached the lives of the people. How is that impacting? Thanks a lot for that. So first of all, for our people for those who are on the LinkedIn, who are watching through LinkedIn, who are not still part of the community, we have a Discord channel where our community is hosted, and I will request all of them to be part of our community as well. So we are actually bringing a lot of giveaways, rewards, and also the members who join now, first 100 members have the opportunity to be early community members of Group Finance, and that is a lifetime NFT that will be available to them. So please join us if you are watching it from the TradFi world on the LinkedIn side. And because today everything in the decentralized finance in the crypto world is happening on Discord servers. Those who are already on our community members who have joined us, thanks a lot for first of all for being part of the community. Second, thanks for joining this presentation as well. I'm sure you must be having a lot of questions. We have already received certain questions on the LinkedIn, but I want to also answer questions from the community. So please, guys, put your questions here on the Discord channel, and we will be very shortly we will be starting to answer those questions in a couple of minutes. So any question we have, please start putting that onto the Discord channels. If you have any problem, please reach out to people from the Brew Finance team like Anubhav, Dhruv, all of them are there. If you want to hand over the questions to them, and or you can put in the general channel and we will be answering them live. So anybody has a question, please request for the question. We will unmute you and ask it live on the platform itself. So I will start in that particular case. I will start with answering the questions on the related to LinkedIn first of all, and then we will move to. In the meanwhile, I am waiting for my community members to come with their own questions for this. So the questions that we have received so far are they are all on LinkedIn as of today, as of now. So we have from Agresh Singh. What is Agresh has put up a lot of questions, and thanks a lot Agresh for being very taking proactive role. Would there be any private sale for Brew tokens? Yes, we have already started the private sale, and we will be having both private sale as well as IDO is on the roadmap as well. So the private sale is certainly already live. We are in talks with investors. Some market investors have already committed capital to us. Some of the big names in the blockchain space of the world. Your mainnet will be on Polygon. Yes. So our system has been designed to work on EVM machines, and because as we all know that in real world it's not necessary that huge capital may be involved. We want to give even small $100 loans to people in the real world, and for that what is important is that the gas fee should not be high. So what earlier, while we had planned for a Ethereum-based mainnet, or when we were thinking of launching the decentralized finance, now we have decided to keep it on Polygon, which is layer 2 for Ethereum. Doesn't make much of a technical difference as well. Another question on who are our partners. The partners are live on the website. They are quite a few names are there. Please check it there. Now, so they are already there. Then Brew Finance would be based only on Polygon or multi-chain. We believe that the world is moving towards multi-chain. And when the world is moving towards multi-chain, there is no reason for Brew Finance to exit only on one single protocol. As you can see today, Aave is on Ethereum, on Polygon, Aave is on several other chains as well. That is where world is moving. We will also be there, but we will be starting with Polygon first of all. And what is the average API that would be offered by Brew Finance? Very interesting question. So let me tell you one thing. Today, the yield in the Western world on their dollar deposits is in the range of 0.25%. Today, the yield on stable coins on most of the stable platforms in DeFi 1.0 is also in the range of 1 to 2%. So, but here, because we will be lending in emerging markets where the rates of interest can be quite high, our yields will be much higher than what DeFi 1.0 is offering. Not only that, the yield will also, so there will be an economic yield, because see, our money is not going towards speculation. The borrowing on our platforms are going towards real world economic activity. So there will be real world returns which will be associated with the liquidity rewards on our platform. But not only that, we will also accentuate that by providing Brew Finance tokens. As the Brew Finance book grows, the token value is expected to grow, and which will bring additional APY for the liquidity providers on the platform. And and also I would like to tell one thing over here. The APYs will vary depending upon the asset class and depending upon the borrower pool, because depending upon the risk, the rewards in any financial world change as well. And I am coming to some of the questions on on Discord, what actually happens in the backend, like how the lenders can actually lend and yield to earn passively, and what the borrower structure looks like. Uh, yeah, that's an interesting question, Dikshant. So so Dikshant has put this question from our community in the Discord that how what actually happens. So he's very so what happens today on DeFi 1.0 that everything works on the smart contracts. Both the borrowers and lenders connect their wallets. But here in the real world, so how we are working, there is also association of fiat versus cryptocurrencies because people are looking to borrow against their assets in the real world, and many of them may not be actually having a crypto wallet altogether. So, for example, a farmer, etc. So we have created a bridge for, first of all, fiat crypto on ramp, off ramp, which will help us to bring money to different emerging markets. So we have started from India, but our goal is to go global. We have forged one partnership in the Southeast Asian market for Philippines and Indonesia, and we are in the process of forming another partnership in Latin America as well. So what will happen that borrowers in these markets, wherever they have wallet facility, they will connect their wallet. The real world assets will be tokenized on our platform directly by us, and there is an entire mechanism for that. And those tokens will be used as collaterals on the smart, which either in the delegated fashion or direct fashion will come on the platform through tokens. If it is someone who is not into the crypto world, they can delegate the process to one of the pool delegates on the platform, and that delegate will take care of the lending process in the real world assets. And we have okay so we have another question from Crypto Lady about what are our marketing plans. So certainly, guys, I mean, the community has been joining us. You have been seeing the growth, and Crypto Lady yourself, or you yourself have been instrumental in driving some growth on our platform. So the marketing plans are, we already have a marketing agency working with us on the back end. So we are going to, and right now we are in the process of, as I mentioned, we are in the process of private sale. As soon as the first round of private sale of tokens is completed, you will find us going in a big way on Twitter. You will be finding of going on a big way on Discord. And we are going to participate in a number of events, both in India as well as outside of India, which are already in the pipeline. And I can assure you that when the assets are on Mainnet, by that time, you will have a 100x bigger community over here. So those are some of the plans which we are working upon. Again, I would like to take one question from LinkedIn site. If it is related to Brew Finance, I will take it. So what is the TVL locked with Brew Finance as of 2022? So in 2021, through our TradFi platform, we have given loan of, in last 14 months, we have given loan of more than $4 million in India, which in India translates to around 30 crore rupee. So we have already done that, and that is the TVL as of today. This year, 2022, we expect to end with a TVL of around $50 million. And so that's one question over here. Okay, now one question is very interesting. What is the USP for the borrower? The USP for the borrower says, see what is happening in the space that. So this is a question on LinkedIn. I will come back to the Discord community after this question. What is happening, as I mentioned, that in the Western world, in Europe, in the US, etc., the yields have fallen down drastically. As you would be knowing, this question is from PK on LinkedIn. So as you would be knowing that in some of the places the rate of interest is actually negative. So what we are looking at by using the decentralized finance protocol, we are looking to bridge this gap. So there are emerging markets where there is need of money, where people are willing to pay higher yield, and there is Western world where there is what we call global North versus global South. The global North has money, has capital, but has very low yield. Global South requires the capital. Global South, when I talk about, I'm talking about Southeast Asia, I'm talking about India, Indian subcontinent, I'm talking about Africa, Latin America. These are where people need money and they are willing to pay for that. So what happens? But here in these places, they don't get access to banking ecosystem. We have 1.7 billion people, which is around 25% people of the world today are either unbanked or underbanked. And most of them live in this global south of Asia, the Southeast Asia, southern part of Asia, Africa, Latin America, etc. And then we have the global north, which is the US, which is the European world and all, where yields are low, capital are high. So that is where, by bridging these two, what we are looking at, we are looking to bring the rate of interest down for the people who are going to borrow from us. And not only that, we are also going to provide these facilities to them in a permissionless fashion without need of going through a banking ecosystem, which has not really opened the doors for the people who are in need, for the small businesses, for the farmers, for the gig work economy workers. There are no solutions which banking industries provide. So that is why we believe that the consumers will come to us. And now I'm coming back to Discord community. So anybody can unmute themselves and please ask the question. I, I think someone tried to unmute themselves and ask the question. We hear only a static. We could not hear. If you can please post it into the general channel, we will pick it up and we will answer that. Shashank has one question from on Discord, I believe. So Shashank, if you are there, can you please ask it?
Hello, Ashish. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, Shashank, you are audible. Yeah.
Yes. So my question was around. Aave has a flash loan feature in the version 2, right? So do you think would it make sense to have flash loans in Blue Finance as of now, or would it be best to have it later? How would that work?
Sure. So as thanks, Shashank, very pertinent question. As you know that, so I call flash loan the WMD, weapon of mass destruction of the crypto world. I mean, most of the people in the crypto world, especially the whales, would not agree with me. But if you look at most of the acts that have happened involve flash loans somewhere or the other, because flash loan allow people to borrow money without collateral. And but the requirement is that you have to close the transaction within before the block is uh, mined, means which is typically 13 seconds on Ethereum. That works when both the assets and the liabilities are on a digital world platform. But in a real world, it won't be possible, because how we would allow someone, see, in the real world, there are risks. So in flash loan, till the time block is not mined, till that time the risk is not there because the transaction is not complete. But in real world, if we give money to someone without collateral, how we are going to recover that? Unless and until we have some other mechanism. So at this moment, flash loans won't be there because of the intricacies of the real world. Going forward, if maybe over a period of years, if we see that there are certain assets where it makes sense, perhaps we will be launching.
And then my second question would be, there are static and variable APYs as well, right? So what would be the best approach for Blue Finance to, which one should be the right approach for Blue Finance in your opinion?
Yeah. So So typically, actually speaking, fixed and variable rate of interest are not new to TradFi world as well. We are starting with fixed rate of interest because that gives an assurance to the borrowers that what he is going to pay, he already knows when he is taking a loan. Because our borrowers are going to take loan for say minimum 6 months period, 9 months period, or sometime even beyond 1 year period. So they must be knowing what they have to pay. It cannot be that one day their liability is 1% and the second date is 20%. So we are going to start with fixed rates of interest. Over a period of time, there are certain products where we see that the variability will be a factor, but in those cases, the variance will not happen on a daily basis. On our protocol, the variance, given that the economy sometimes the rates of interest change, so the reset of those of the variable assets on our platform will take place after 6 months on a regular basis. Whenever we launch the variable rate product, it is already in uh, in the pipeline.
Thank you, Ashish.
Fixed, later on variable actually.
Yeah, totally makes sense. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks, Shashank. So if there are any questions from the community, otherwise I can go back to LinkedIn and look at there are quite a lot of questions from there.
Can I ask one?
Yes, please.
My question is more on the user side. Like for the farmers, smallholders, processing of loans is a big pain point in the traditional finance. Uh, how is it going to our approach? Is it going to be one of our pitch points for the smallholders that how much is the processing time which we are committing to the smallholders so that they can save on that time?
I will be glad to say that our capabilities are to give loan in a few minutes. Today, already, when we have serviced so many thousands of farmers and when we have given more than $4 million of loans to them, none of them have visited a bank branch. Even though the lending is happening through TradFi partners, the moment the farmers bring the assets to the custodian warehouses, which are 1400 on our platform, and we are expanding actually, and the moment we tokenize their warehouse deposits, the commodities which they have brought to the warehouse, they can apply for loan. We already have a mobile app for the purpose. And we have done this. We have done in real time as well, where the lending has taken place. So that is what our commitment is, that within a few minutes after the commodity has been tokenized on the platform, it will be possible for them to borrow money. Given that there can be some time lag into the, because in some cases there will be fiat involvement as well. So it may be at the max a few hours, but that is all. And the second part, none of them required to visit anywhere. They just have to bring their assets to us, and the moment we tokenize that, it will be done. That's actually, that is why we are getting so much of Brew Finance, or our Indian entity, World, as we all know, is actually speaking the only blockchain platform which runs independently in India. The only blockchain native fintech or solution in India is what we are. And that is because of this what we have been able to do.
Thanks. Nice to hear that. Fast and faceless.
Sure. Yeah, fast and faceless. Thank you. And let me take one question from the here from token. It is one question related to token. So when do we expect listing? It is on the LinkedIn. So when do we expect listing? We expect listing in the quarter three. In quarter three, means that will be early quarter three, not late quarter. And one more question on LinkedIn: will the borrowing asset be time locked, or will there be health factor included, just like in Aave V2? Our assets will be time locked, so that there is assurance of both to the both yield providers and to the borrowers that when they have taken loan, actually speaking, it is for a fixed time period. One more question in the roadmap. Do you plan to migrate to, I believe it should be Cardano, Solana or AVAX? All of them are on card. Let's see how Cardano comes up. We still have to see much deployment on Cardano. But Solana is something which is certainly coming up, which has really come up very well. And we will be moving after. That will be the second. Actually speaking, we also have, we already are on the testnet of Binance as well, but Solana is the next stop in the technology terms. It will take some time to go there. So if any other question from the community here on the here on the Discord. Yes, please go ahead. So if we are good, then guys, what we will do that we will move towards. I would what we will do that we will run a small presentation, small video for all of us to see, and then after that we will wind up the session with a vote of thanks. So please wait for vote of thanks as we will be making our announcement as well regarding our ECMP, and then we will be going ahead from there. Thanks everyone, and now I would request the team to provide a official vote of thanks, and then so over to you, Shubhani and Falguni.
Hello everyone.
Thank you everyone. Glad to have you. Glad to host this. Have a nice weekend, and looking forward to answer more and more questions on the general channel going forward as well. And we will be so as already Abhishek mentioned, we are actually hiring a lot. But along with that, I would also like to say that the community itself, we have a lot of role for community which are already open. Through from our team has already posted them. So please have a look. And if you are interested in being part of us in our journey in any part to bring the benefits of decentralized finance to the real world and to bring financial inclusion along with us, we will be glad to have you with us. Thanks a lot once again. See you then, guys.